Hello guys, let us solve this problem in Hackerrank called Java subarray. So what are we supposed to do in this problem? So first of all, let us understand what a subarray is. If you know, subarray is nothing but a contiguous block of original arrays elements. So actually the word contiguous is really important over here. Contiguous means you can say one after the another. So suppose this is our array 1, 2, 3. The subarray elements can be likewise. But the thing is 1 and 3 cannot be a subarray because they are obviously not contiguous as they have told us in the definition, right? So this is a subarray. It is kind of like substrings only, but just in substrings these are the arrays. And the input format is pretty much easy. We have to take in number of elements, that is 5, and the array itself after that. And the output is we have to print out the number of sub-arrays whose sum is negative. So actually they have this example over here and they have explained everything. So I think minus sign is not visible here. It's fine. I don't know why is it not visible. So actually let us do one thing. Let us try to code it firstly. So I have this public class solution. I'll do one thing. I'll just write a main method, and inside of this method, let us first of all define some things. So first of all, integer n is going to be our counter, right? So it will be, I'll just define integer n. After that, basically the number of elements, and I'll obviously have to create a scanner object. So I'll just name it scanner with small case of s, and then new scanner system.n. Fine. This is the just the scanner object. Fine. After that, I have to obviously take in n. So n equals to scanner.nextInt. So this is our n, and after that we have to use a for loop so that we can get in the elements, right? So for any integer I, and obviously I will be less than n, and after that I plus plus, we have to basically take in n. So we'll do one thing. Actually I'll have to define array as well. So I'll do one thing. I'll just take it down instead of there. And now let us do one thing. Let us define the array. So int, then I'll name the array as say arr equals to, then new int, and number of elements is going to be n, which they have already told us, and n is going to be not over here. Actually it should be down when we have took in n. Yeah, now this seems fine. Now after that we have to take in elements and basically attach it to the element I of the array. So arr of I will be equal to scanner and obviously nextInt. So scanner.nextInt, so that on each and every new line we are going to take in the elements. So this for loop is nothing but just for taking in the elements and storing it in our array. And I'm getting some error. Okay, I forgot to initialize this thing. For int I equals to 0, obviously it will start from 0. Yeah, now it seems fine. And after that, what we have to do is we have to basically check for the number of negative arrays. So I'll just comment it out. Now from here I'm checking it in. So check. Let us check. So for that, let us do one thing. I'm going to use two for loops. So I'll tell you all why. So let us say again I'll use into the same variable. So for int I, obviously you can use any different variable, but it is fine because there are different for loops. So you can use j or k, whatever you want. So again I have to iterate through the whole array, right? So that's why I'm using I less than n. And after this, what I'm going to do is inside this for loop, I'm going to first of all we want the sum actually. So let's do one thing. Let us define the sum. The sum is going to be 0 firstly. Obviously for the first time it is going to start from 0. And let us do one thing. Let us define the counter as well, so that we can count how many arrays do we have, the whose sum is negative. So I'll say I'll name it count of arrays or whatever, count equals to 0 again. We have started both of these things from 0. Even if you don't write equals to 0, it is going to be 0 only, so it's fine. So now after that I'm going to use one more for loop. So for int j equals to, I'm going to say I. I'll tell you why did I write I, and again j less than, not I actually, it should be j less than n, because we have to iterate through the whole array, and again j plus plus. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically check the sum. So sum equals to, sum plus arr of j. Yeah, now it seems fine. And let us check if the sum is negative. If the sum is negative, then we'll basically increase our count, and if it is not, then we'll not do anything. So if sum is less than 0, then what we're going to do is basically just increment our count, which I have already defined. So count plus equals to 1. That's what I'm going to do if the sum is negative, and obviously don't forget the semicolon. So see, now I'll explain to all that what did I do firstly. First of all, let us check if this solution is actually right or wrong. If it is right, then I'll show it to all, or there's no use of just showing it all. So let's run this code and copy and paste it actually, paste the solution over here. So sample test case is this thing, and actually we didn't get anything because I obviously didn't print out anything. So for that, after this for loop ends, I'm going to print out. What did I do? I just forgot to print out. So let us print out. I have to print out the count, right? So now let us see. So run it. Yeah, and paste it over here. Yeah, we got the output as 9, which is accurately right if I'm not wrong. Let us check it. Yeah, answer is right. Answer is right. Now I'll try to explain to all that what did I do. So now this is our array, right? So for this array, I'm going to do, I have started a for loop. say I. So first of all, I and J, right? So outer for loop has I and inner for loop has J. So for the inner for loop, when I is going to be equal to 1 and sum is obviously going to be 0. So I'm writing with a mouse, so my handwriting is pretty bad. So it's fine. I hope you understand. So for now, the sum is 0. Now when I is equal to 1, now comes the part of J. So J is going to be equal to 1 and we have wrote sum equals to J plus 1. So basically, let us say S is our sum. We have just wrote S equals to S plus ARR of J. So ARR of J is basically the element that I'll just write A now and ARR of J. So see, basically what happens now when J equals to 1, sum is going to be equal to 1 because 0 plus this 1 is going to be, this is not J actually, this is A of J. Yeah. So after that, what I'm going to do, and this is also ARR of I. I'm just writing it so that you guys understand. So this is fine. After this, our ARR of J is going to be minus 2, and our sum is 1 now. So when sum is 1, so sum is 1. 1 plus minus 2 is going to be minus 1. So now sum is minus 1. So I'll increment our counter because basically I have wrote it over here. When our sum is less than 0, I have incremented my counter. Basically, sum is less than 0 when I have subarray. So now subarray will be 1 and minus 1. So the counter will be 1 now. I have incremented it. Now after that, after minus 2, and remember ARR of I is going to be 1 only, and after that J is going to change because inside of this for loop of I have used a for loop of J. If you, I'll just show it all. So see, this is a for loop, and inside this for loop of I have used the for loop of J. So that's why when ARR of I is 1, ARR of J will be 1, minus 2, 4, 5, 1, and after that ARR of I will be minus 2, then ARR of J will be minus 2, 4, 5, minus 5 and 1. Again ARR of I will be 4, then ARR of J will be 4, minus 5, 1 and so on. It will just continue. So basically what happens, whenever I check it, whenever I basically take the sum, whenever it will be negative, I'll increment the counter. And the trickier part is, I'll whenever see, now I was equal to 1, right? So when I is equal to 1, now see, red pointer is for I and this blue is for suppose J, sorry, orange is for J. So when I is 1, J will go from this to this, that is J will be 1, minus 1, 4 and minus 5 and 1. So when J becomes this value, we have some random value, say sum equals to 5 stored in this sum. For now, let us assume it. So suppose sum is 5 stored. Now what will happen when, now again this all is over. After that I will go to minus 2 and again we'll increment our sum. But for this part, we don't want our sum to be 5. Now we want our sum to be 0. So for that thing, why I want the sum to be 0? Because again I have started a new iteration. I want to start the sum from 0. The sum will not start from minus 5, which was this thing. Okay. So that's why for that what I have done over here is, yeah, I have again inside this for loop I have wrote in sum equals to 0. So if I would have written in sum equals to 0 outside of this for loop, then we would get, obviously we'll get a wrong answer. That's because actually that's the reason why I wrote sum equals 0 inside this for loop of I. Okay, I hope that these things are clear to you all. Let us do one thing, let us just copy this code and paste it on HackerRank and let us see if each and every test case actually works. Yeah, I'll just submit it directly. I know the test case is right. Yeah, every test case is satisfying, there's no error. So that's all from my side. If you have any doubts, you can obviously ask me in the comment section. And subscribe to our channel to get updates regarding new videos. That's all. Stay tuned and keep learning. Thank you.